Welcome to Awakening Church Storyboard, where we want to help cast a little bit of vision for you of why we're launching a brand new church in the Silicon Valley. We want to thank GMO for letting us get to use this amazing facility here and are amazed at what God's doing as we've just started this journey of the people He's bringing on board to reach this generation. Just a couple comments before we dive in. First of all, this is Jay Kim. He's come on staff with us in the last few months to help be a part of that. You'll get to hear a little bit more from him in a second. But I wanted to just let you know, why are we launching a new church? And why now? And I think that's a big question. And as we looked at the valley, and we see, in fact, statistically, you see this huge influx of young professional, college age, young families that is just coming upon the city. And if you look at the church today, you see that oftentimes is a missing generation in the church. And as we looked at, okay, what's going to be unique about what we do as a church, and how can we add to what God's already doing in the movement here in the city, said, you know what, His favor, He's given us favor to reach this generation. So let's get after it. And that's really our mission, our vision, is to awaken this generation to a new life through the forgiveness, love, and truth of Jesus Christ. That we want to be about that. We want to see this generation rise up and experience a brand new life in His name. Jay, why don't you share just a little bit about the values that we have?
Yeah, as a church community, Awakening Church is going to have a set of values that's really simple. It's something you've heard before, and it's found in the New Testament a number of times in this specific phrasing. But our values as a church are going to be built on the ideas of faith, hope, and love. And values are really important because these are the things that we cannot violate. And so for us as a church, we want to be a people of faith, that we trust in the promises of God, that He has blessed us and that He will continue to pour His favor out on us, and we trust in that. We want to be a people of hope, that there is a hope for us that goes beyond the physical, it goes beyond even this life and this existence, and we want to live into that reality. And we want to be ultimately a people of love, built on love, believing that God has created humanity in love, that He loves us still, and that His desire is that we would love Him back. And so these are our values as a church. These are the values that we want imparted in each and every one of us and the people who will encounter Jesus through the work of God, through our church community, and ultimately that our community would be built on these values of faith, hope, and love.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the questions then is, how do you go about doing that? And the way we're going to go about creating a community that reaches this generation and creates a community of faith, hope, and love, really that's what it means to be a follower of Christ, is where we long for people to join the movement of God. That we create first an environment where people can have a life-changing encounter with God that revolutionizes their life. And a lot of times that does happen in the big group setting. That happens at a service moment. In fact, we often say that the service is for really where you experience inspiration, where you're inspired by God. But it's then that movement from where you join the movement that you would then experience community, where you dive in and experience real, authentic community, where you're diving into the Word of God together with others, where you're known and you know others, and so that you actually, that's the place where we believe life change occurs, where you experience transformation. We're going to be creating communities that allow that to happen. But if we just end there, I think we fall short of what God has called for us. And that is that every single person lives on mission. So oftentimes we fall into this going through the motions and just doing church and showing up. But the calling of our life is to live out the mission of Christ in your world, in your spheres of influence, out of your gifting of who God's created you to be. and that you would step forward and say, you know what, we're not going to just go through the motions at our church. We're not going to just kind of do what we've always done. Let us be a generation and a church that gets after the calling of Christ and sees Him move powerfully in this city for His name and His glory. And so we'd invite you to join and be a part of that with us. A few ways you can do that is one, by prayer. I think that is a huge way, and we invite everyone, if you watch this video and you go, I just long to pray, and that you would commit to pray. As far as you can pray for a location, we're still looking for a location, for the team that's being gathered together that God's building. Pray for spiritual protection. The next way to be a part is simply to give. Financially, there's needs as far as paying staff that are coming on board, paying for the location and all the startup costs and some of those sort of things. Even if you can't be a part of joining us in the new church, you could be a part of supporting us and giving towards this new movement, and would really encourage you and invite you to do that. And I think the last way is, hey, I want to be a part of the ground floor of launching this fresh expression of the church in the city. And we invite you to do that. We'd love to have you be a part of the team that is launching Awakening Church. And you can do that simply by, and all this, if you want more information, just go to launch, LAUNCH, at awakeningchurch.com. And if you just email launch at awakeningchurch.com, we'd love to get you all the information on this. Anyways, thank you so much for taking your time listening, and we're excited about what God is doing and how He's building His church.